Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon. Merry Christmas to all of you out there, as we are not going to be doing Inside Arkansas Live on Christmas Eve tomorrow or Christmas Day. So this is going to be a little bit of a Christmas edition of Inside Arkansas, and just in the right spirits, because it is about 78 degrees outside and none of us are wearing pants because it's so hot outside. Doesn't really exactly feel like Christmas, but we're going to do the best we can. But we're going to have some fun today, talk about all things going on in Razorback land. We'll get to some heavy hitters and, of course, get into your chats and have some fun with that. But fellas, Merry Christmas Eve to all of you. How are the vibes here on this Tuesday?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I'm nervous now every time we start the show. John, yesterday, the intro finished and my mic stayed muted again. And so I was like, what the heck is going on? Because you know how it just like automatically would go off, and now I've got to just look at it every time. I'm skittish, man. It's in my head, but my vibes are good. They're real good. My wife and son, every day when we start the show and the intro plays, they just come stand in the office, and they got like this choreographed dance that they do, and it's funny, and it gets me going every time, and he seems to enjoy it. But I understand why I finish the show and I walk in and Michelle's in shambles and she's covered in spit up every day. Like, she's just throwing this kid around for 90 seconds while this is going on. But no, I'm good, fellas. Happy to be on here with you guys today. Looking forward to the holiday for sure.
Yeah, my spirits are through the roof right now. I'm not a fan of it being 140 degrees on Christmas Eve, but I'm not going to let that get me down. Not going to let anything get me down, but I will ask, have you guys, when's the last time you've been to a trampoline park?
Oh, gosh.
Dude,
I
I've
can't
never
even
been.
remember.
Well, Curtis, you're going to find yourself at a trampoline park some point here in the near future, I would imagine. Be careful, okay? Like, it's grueling, it's intense. 30 minutes, by the way, is more than enough. If it's one of those places that does the per the minute, 30 minutes is fine. But I took a few of my nephews and a couple nieces to the trampoline park yesterday, and they wore me out, and I now have a gash to show for it all on my knee. They tore me up. And me and Hillary this morning are walking around a little gingerly because we're sore. But we had a great time. We're crushing it here in the great state of Louisiana, but we're coming back to Arkansas today.
Man, yeah, because I know what trampoline parks are, and I'm with Curtis. I don't think I've ever been to one, but I know my brother takes my nephews, his sons, there whenever he needs to drain the energy and get them to, get ready for bed and all that. But I feel like if I ever did go to trampoline park, my MCL just immediately becomes broken. Like, I take one jump and just there it is, and I'm done for. So that'd be pretty rough. So, but I'm glad that we're all here, despite the issues and obstacles that we always have to overcome. But it is the Christmas spirit that we are in, and I know that there's a lot of people looking forward to being and spending holidays with each other, and traveling. A lot of you are probably already at your destinations, wherever it may be. So be sure to be safe with all of that, and we'll have some fun with it on the Christmas side of things too. So a lot of things to dive into, and of course, we were talking about it with Razorback football too, and the transfer portal is going to be opening up, which I guess is it officially January 1st, by the way, that the portal ends up opening January 2nd.
I think midnight of like this. Yeah, the second it opens.
Okay, so that's where it's going to just turn into absolute chaos for everything. But Curtis, you kind of mentioned this too, and I read the article on 3, just, anytime there's like intel or whatever, just stuff like that. And it's talking about some of the players in the transfer portal. Of course, the biggest one being Carius Kern, and the one that he's connected with Arkansas. But then of all the players that are mentioned, like, that's it. There's no other player being mentioned with Arkansas. And, it's not to say that they won't get any good players or anything, but that's kind of the thing where I'm like, well, it's like we talk about Christmas. You want great Christmas gifts, you get hyped, and it's kind of like this where it's like, hey man, I want a great defensive lineman. I want to be in the mix for one of these players. That'd be a great Christmas gift. But it's going to be funny to see if Arkansas, we know they're going to add some pieces. They're going to add some players, but are they going to be of these high quality players, these high big time transfers that are already in the portal, at least intending to be in the portal? It'd be nice for them to be into the mix for some of those players as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Hopefully it's not Kern and a bunch of Memphis guys or whatever. Although we talked about some of those yesterday, and there's a good handful that I wouldn't mind having on this Razorback football team. But no, it's just an interesting world that we find ourselves living in, because we're not too far removed from the Eric Musselman days, where when any of these stories would come out with lists of, oh, these are the schools involved with X transfer, Arkansas was on every single one of them. And that could be frustrating at times because we were like, well, but are they really though? Or did they just make a phone call because they do that with everybody? How serious is it? And we had to kind of wade through all those different smoke screens or whatever. And we don't get that with Cal. Like he's just, how many transfers were they connected to in basketball this offseason? Like, I don't know, 6, 7 maybe. And then they wound up with 2. And so it's a lot different. And I just wonder what it's going to look like here with football because they're going to bring in, 30 plus guys. And yeah, Kern, that makes a lot of sense. I'm not even saying they have to get all these dudes. And I acknowledge, because I know I'm the one that brought that story up. It was a good amount of quarterbacks. And I don't know that they're going to be in the market for the star quarterback. So it makes sense. But as we start getting some of those, impressive defensive linemen who enter the portal and, some of these other positions that we know Arkansas is going to have to get some guys, even if they don't wind up getting them. I just want to see Arkansas on that list of, 4 schools that are in the mix with these guys. And that would make me feel better as we're kind of trying to determine how much money they have from an NIL standpoint going into this thing.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the quarterbacks because that was another thing is like we always talk about quarterbacks, and no matter who your quarterback is, when there's a cool one in the portal, you're always kind of like, oh, are we going to get in that mix? DJ Lagway? So not super surprising that Arkansas is not going to be in the DJ Lagway mix. They're not going to be in the Sam Levitt mix or the whoever. But yeah, I'm with you where it's like, it's not the end of the world. This is a list of 20 guys, and they're all primetime guys that are going to have a lot of suitors and all that. The list is going to grow of big-time players in the portal or just guys that could be options. And so in theory, it kind of makes sense that Carius Kern would be the one. But now am I tripping for being like, man, Arkansas kind of like, not like has to get Carius Kern. I mean, especially because they've got some pieces on the O-line. But I'm like, if you're going to be selective and you're going to only maybe go after 1 or 2 big fish, you need to get those big fish. And so Carius Kern, by the way, no doubt about it, would be a big fish. You look at the list of suitors, it's you're going to have to beat out some heavy hitters presented by HD Roofing and Construction to get a guy like that. So like that would be a very big get for Arkansas. One, just for all the reasons we've already talked about, but like, because that would mean that you're serious. That would mean you're going out there and beating someone else. So if it does end up being just Carius Kern from that list, I would be okay with it. But like you mentioned, they're going to have to fill so many spots that, it's just having the Memphis guys come over isn't going to be enough to really inspire this fan base, especially when, again, we've been told you're going to find out how rich we are by the coaching staff and by the players we get in the portal. We have seen some evidence in the coaching staff, although it hasn't maybe been top half of the SEC good, but I do like the moves they've made. I want to see this coaching staff hit the ground running. I want to see Arkansas be very quick. I don't want it to be January, 14th, and we're like, well, they've only added a few players. Man, they're gonna have to really add, and then they just end up adding a bunch of guys. I want to see some big fish. I want to see some stuff that gets me excited. But Carius Kern would be a very good start to that.
Well, to me, the Carius Kern thing is the one that, okay, do you need an offensive lineman? Yeah. All right. Do you need a good one? Yeah. All right. How about one that's from Arkansas? Yeah. All right. So get the one that makes sense. You don't overdo this. Don't overthink it. Like just that one is one that you have a connection with because he's from the state. I mean, there's been some connections there with some players that are currently on the roster with him. It's like, I'm not going to say that it's disaster mode or anything like that. But guys, I'm just so on top of the fact that they got to get Kern that if they don't, I'm going to be like upset. Like I'm going to be kind of like pissed by it because it's like, that is one that has to make sense. And I talked about this a little bit on my Locked On this morning. It's like, we don't know about negotiations. It could be something to where if Arkansas didn't get Kern, he was like, well, I want $5 million. Like it could have, we don't know what all that goes into, but it's like for getting the players that just make sense. Just do it. You just find a way. Because I know that, you never know what could happen with a player or what. But I think we all can agree that if Carius Kern is added, one, as you said, Andrew, it's a big fish and it's a heavy hitter and it gets added. But two, it's like, okay, well, you got a starter right away. Like you got an offensive line starter right off the jump. And you already got a few of them coming back. And we all know how important the offensive line is, especially when you're going to have a new quarterback in. So to me, that's just one. It's like, hey, you don't want to go over the top overboard and just, throw the kitchen sink at him and then you overpay for him. But in some cases, you know what, maybe just overpay a little bit because you want to make sure that you get him on campus because he could be that type of a difference maker for you at Arkansas.
Yeah, no, for sure, man. And I think that Arkansas will wind up getting him, although anytime I see Texas and Georgia involved with somebody you're trying to get, I get uncomfortable, man. Like how far is he up on that priority list? And he might be pretty high, as good as he is. So you never know until you know. Yeah, I would be very disappointed if they didn't wind up getting him. Then if you don't, you just got to go out and get somebody. You can't then go get, some O-line transfer from Truman State and try to sell me on that. You know what I mean? Like you would have to go out and get another SEC caliber starter. And that's tough to do. And just feels like it would be an easier, to your point, one to get done when it's somebody from your backyard to be able to get across the finish line there. So hopefully they get it done and we don't have to look at this and go, uh-oh.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not going to do the like doomsday thing where like I freak out if they don't get Kern, but I think it would indicate of like, okay, that was kind of the biggest fish you were going after right off the bat and you didn't get him, which, in and of itself, not a big deal, but it's like, you're not going to get someone better than him, on the O-line. And I'm sure you can get some guys with more experience or whatever, but you're not going to get a more highly touted O-line guy if you couldn't get Kern, which then kind of lets you believe, okay, are they really going to get super highly touted DBs? Are they going to get super highly touted defensive linemen? Are they going to get an extra linebacker? Like, if you're not able to get this done, there's no shame in that, but it would lead the fan base to then start asking the question, well, what are they going to be able to do at some of these other positions? And this coaching staff, by the way, like, there's no precedent. We have nothing to judge them off of because we've never seen them attack the portal. So we don't really know what their capabilities are in terms of what they're going to be able to do. But just as a fan base, you don't want to have to be doing those mental gymnastics of, no, this guy from Northern Kentucky, no, he's nasty. No, he was really good. His PFF grades were good. You really don't want to have to do that. You want to be able to get these guys that we don't even have to discuss. We don't have to sell you on. It's just, these are good players that are going to come help your team. I would say that safety, Kamari Wilson, would fit that criteria from Memphis. Certainly wouldn't hate starting there, but I do think there's just a lot that this coaching staff's going to have to do, and I think it's very possible they do a good job, and it's still not quite enough to sell the fan base.
Yeah, and I'll say this because I know we'll have some other things to get to, but according on 3, they talked about Arkansas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, Georgia, and Kentucky being in on Carius Kern. Which of those schools would be the worst one to lose him to? Would it be still Ole Miss, or would it be like Kentucky? Because you shouldn't lose to a team like Kentucky. Like, which one would be the worst?
Kentucky would irritate me. I'm over it with the whole Ole Miss thing. Like it's a new era over there. He's leaving Lane Kiffin to go somewhere, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't think I could be too mad about it if he went to one of the heavy hitters like Georgia or something. It would probably be Kentucky for me. Bottom feeders of the SEC and everything. All that would mean, I think, unless there's a connection I don't know something about, is that they were the ones that dropped the crazy bag.
Yeah,
and that's how a school like Kentucky would get him, and that's what would tick me off.
For sure. Like if he goes to Georgia, as much as we can say, oh man, we had him, you can at least see the premise. In fact, I could even see an argument for him taking a pay cut to go to Georgia if he was, promised a starting spot or whatever. But yeah, Kentucky is a first-year head coach who, if they get him, that means that first-year coach and his staff effectively sold him on the idea that they're going to be this great turnaround and they can provide him with great NIL and yada, yada, yada. So that would lead you to believe, why could Arkansas not have done that?
Right. Yeah. And also on top of that, I got to make sure I got to have his name right. Let's see. It's a Gazka, I think. Crowley,
our
new
boy,
guy.
Our Jonah Hill.
Yeah. It's like that would be a great little start to saying, all right, maybe this guy's got it going on a little bit, by getting Carius Kern. It's like maybe he's got some wheeling and dealing in him. Maybe he's got to deal with some of these agents and whatnot. So it'd be a good start. It would definitely be a good start. So we'll get into some other things here on the show, but want to remind everybody that, of course, we're presented by the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas. Vision is important, as we all know. And if you can't see, you're probably pretty frustrated seeing just the simple things. You're trying to open up gifts when Santa comes to town and you're trying to read of who's at 2 and you can't do it. It's frustrating. You don't want to give the wrong gift to the wrong kid. So get your vision taken care of, get it squared away, get it fixed today with the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas, because they're able to perform cataract surgery for you. They can also do anything when it comes to Botox, filler, IPL with their aesthetics provider, Olivia Risch. You can also get refractive surgery. If you're a patient that's been struggling with your readers, with your glasses, with your contacts, surgery options and everything, I'm going to be somebody that after the first of the year, I'm going to be scheduling to get my eye examined, because I just want to make sure that everything's good to go and maybe be able to have some any issues that could be there already, prevent it and get on top of it. But vision's important, so don't wait around. Don't mess around with it. Get your eyes fixed and be able to see 2026 in clear view. And you can do so by scheduling an appointment with the Eye Center of Northwest Arkansas today at 479-442-2020. That's 479-442-2020. You can also check out their website at eyecenternwa.com for more info. Again, it's our Christmas edition here of Inside Arkansas Live. And I know that you guys talked a lot about the Memphis kids. I guess there was another one here today because it's so stupid. I have no idea if these kids are going to come to Arkansas, but anytime I see NACO's put out a tweet, it's like, oh, this Memphis player's into the transfer portal. I'm like, I got to retweet it just to say like, oh yeah, I was on top of this. I knew it. Because Jamari Hawkins, who is one of their starting wide receivers, 38 receptions, 623 yards and 2 touchdowns, entered into the portal. He's got a year of eligibility left. But I got to listen to the show a lot yesterday. But did you guys dive into how much did you dive into the quarterback from that freshman quarterback from there? Like a good amount.
We went all the way in. Here's what we did, John. This is our segment yesterday. We went yay or nay. So I presented the case for every one of these guys to Andrew and let him decide whether or not he wants him to be a Razorback. We let the chat decide too, and it was interesting because pretty much every one of them, people were like, "Yeah, sure, bring him in here. Why not? Let's do it." But we added context to everyone. And so the biggest thing that we had, John, with the quarterback, AJ, is not should Arkansas bring him in, because we all feel like, oh, yeah, this dude's a top 150, the 11th ranked quarterback in his class, got 4 years, was handpicked by Silverfield. Like, there's a lot of reasons why that makes sense. But the question that we posed yesterday was, do you bring him in? And that's it. It's AJ versus KJ for a quarterback battle. Or do you still bring in somebody who's got some legitimate playing experience? And there was a lot of back and forth debate on that.
Okay. Well, that's good, because that's basically, again, here's the fun story that nobody cares about, but I was listening to the show, re-listening to it on my way back from Little Rock, and my phone did this thing where it was like, it's this craziest thing called stop working. And so I couldn't watch any of the videos. So anyways, that was kind of what I was going to bring up with you guys, and it sounded like you guys dove into it, because that was my thing of like, man, if you bring in a quarterback, is that the type of quarterback you want to bring in? And if you do, what does that say about KJ Jackson? Is it more about competition? I'm telling you, if they did bring him in, which I'm not going to be anti that or say like, oh, this is a bad move, but man, that would be such a fascinating, fun little discussion in the spring, especially to have when it comes to that.
I know. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. And that dude's like, he's got intangibles, big, tall, strong kids, got a big arm and everything. We found out that he was committed to Coach Prime before winding up at Memphis, and he had some SEC offers and stuff. But it just goes back to like KJ Jackson. He's got that start under his belt. We've got like 3 quarters or whatever of real football that we've watched him in. And then this guy, like, he played against UAB and he played a couple series against NC State the other day. So it's just not a lot of in-game stuff to go off of. Doesn't mean they're not talented, but it is scary.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, if all goes according to plan, and make no mistake, the plan right now is KJ Jackson is your starter and he's good. Like, that is the plan, is that he's your starter, he's your guy. You leave spring ball and nobody on the team has any questions about it, and we're all fine. If all goes according to plan, then it's not the end of the world if Arkansas doesn't have a ton of experience on the roster. But, if KJ's hurt and then all of a sudden your number one backup is a guy who hasn't really played a lot, Trevor Jackson's on the roster, but he hasn't played a lot either. Blake Boda or whoever, I don't know. Is Blake Boda still around these days? Can't. Right?
I don't know. I assume he is. I don't know either.
Either way, he's another guy that doesn't have really any real game experience. It just kind of is something that would lead you as a Razorback fan to be kind of watching with bated breath. Like, even if KJ is awesome, you'd be watching and being like, he can't get hurt, because if he gets hurt, we're in trouble. And we haven't even known for sure if he's going to be the guy that you feel confident about, whatever. And the thing is, Ryan Silverfield has met with KJ. He's obviously been around this AJ kid. And so it's like, he knows these guys and he can evaluate better than us. He has way more information to make this decision than we do. But it's still a tough sell, I think, for the fan base to be like, oh, yeah, KJ, who you didn't even recruit, and we've seen play and we like him, he's the guy with no question and no competition. And now this guy who's coming off his true freshman year where he played like 70 snaps, like, now he's the unquestioned backup, and that's a real competition. That would be a little bit of a tough sell, but at the same time, it's like, if you bring in a top veteran quarterback, or maybe not top veteran quarterback, a quarterback that's played, you're probably not going to be able to get this kid.
Yeah, I think that it's like one of those deals where if you're Arkansas and you're an Arkansas fan, if this guy comes in, I think most people are kind of like what sounded like from what the chat and everybody said was like, yeah, bring him in, whatever, the more the merrier. But then if it's something to where you find out and it's not going to happen, but just using this as an example, it's like they're bringing in DJ Lagway. Suddenly it's like, all right, sorry, KJ Jackson, you're good. We're going to go with this guy and he's going to be great. Like, it just depends on who it is. But that's what I always bring it up just from historical purposes and where it's come from. Arkansas, for all intents and purposes, guys, it's been so long since they've had legitimate quarterback competition where it's like you didn't know who the starter was. You know, Taylon Green coming in with then that thing with Jacoby Criswell. Stop. We all knew, we all saw it was going to be Taylon Green. Like, that's probably the closest you've ever gotten to it. But like Felipe Franks comes in, yeah, he was the starter. Everyone knew. Everyone knew that KJ was going to be the starter. Everyone knew that the Allen boys were going to be the starters. I mean, these are just things that's happened. So that's what I'll be curious about. And with a coach like Silverfield, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm not saying it's good, but just being a first-year coach in the SEC, I just don't know how I feel about it. First year one, you got a legitimate, true quarterback competition because it might be the one time where I'm like, hey, I would love for you to just have your guy who is going to be the guy right now, and then you roll with it because there's just so much uncertainty. I don't want to add another piece of the uncertainty to the puzzle going into fall camp.
Well, and you can't backtrack after spring. Like, if you go through spring practice with KJ versus AJ as your battle and you come to the conclusion that both those guys suck, you're toast. Like, there's no like reinforcement you can do. And so it's a very important decision that they have to make right now. And even though I said he has more information than us, he doesn't have a ton of information to make this decision. I mean, he sat there with KJ Jackson and he's looked at film and he's done whatever. I'm sure he's looked at tons of practice footage, which is, actually could help him inform his decision. But it's like, you don't really know until it's spring ball and we're out there and you're running against the first team defense and we're throwing blitz packages at you and you either know what you're doing or you don't. This is a very big decision that, like, I don't envy Ryan Silverfield having to make. And then you're also trying to recruit guys while also making this decision. It's just, it's a hard thing to do. And I think that's why it's most likely going to result in them not taking a massive swing.
Yeah, I agree with everything you guys said there, man. There were a lot of reasons why I think things got off to a decent enough start for Sam Pittman. Having like the super seniors back because of the COVID deal and all that, like that obviously benefited him a lot. But I'm glad you brought up Felipe Franks. It's like that was a big part of this, just knowing and having that stabilizing force. And it's 100% true. Like, under normal circumstances, I'd be excited about a quarterback competition. I'd be all for it. Like, hey, yeah, mano y mano, let's see who comes out on top here. But when it's year one of a regime and you just got a complete rebuild and there's going to be so many new pieces on this roster, it's an entirely new coaching staff. They're all in, new spots, and you're trying to put this thing together and, build a culture and implement a system and everything that you're trying to do. And you're doing that while you don't know who your quarterback is. That scares me a lot. So we'll see what it winds up looking like here. But it's definitely going to be, as we know, one of the biggest talking points once we get into spring.
By the way, I see the Grayson Wilson fan base is here, which, listen, cool, in-state kid, Conway, all that's great. Even if you do determine that Grayson Wilson, let's even just pretend that spring ball plays out and Grayson Wilson is the best quarterback on the roster. That's another guy who has not played a single snap of college football. Exactly. To where, hey, if he's the guy, he's the guy. Cool, we'll get behind him. But if you're a Razorback fan going into the season and you've got KJ Jackson with very limited experience, Grayson Wilson, limited experience, Trevor Jackson, this AJ kid, you would not have any people in that quarterback room who have played legitimate high-level football. KJ Jackson would have the most experience. Like, that's still a tough one to kind of sell the fan base on, even if the coaching staff truly believes in him.
Well, and also, too, it's like in this day and age, in the modern era of college football, it's almost like if you're a major program and they say, well, SEC, say Arkansas, and you're going into the year without a quarterback that has any legitimate starting experience, it's weird. It's like a weird thing, and I want the confidence to come into it with whether it's because Clint Trickett, for instance, is a guy he's the quarterback's coach. So it's like, what is he going to say about this? Is this something where they're like, hey, buddy, go find you a quarterback? Or is it going to be Cromsley? Is it going to be him that's like, hey, guy, go find you a quarterback? But that was one thing. I know Bobby Petrino is now over there now hanging out with Jordan Hudson. But it's like the one thing I liked about Petrino is it's like, hey, go get your guy. And Petrino's like, I want my guy. I want Taylor Green. Now we can sit here and argue about Taylor Green, whether or not he's a good quarterback or not. But the point is like you had a guy that he's like, I saw this guy. That's who I want. And I brought him in to make it work. That's what I'm hoping ends up happening with this situation, whether it's Trickett, whether it's Silverfield, whether it's Grimsley or Cromsley, whatever it is. Just be like, I see somebody out there that I want and I know I can win with. I'm going to go get them. That's what I want. So,
and I got to be honest here. And I'm sure that some of this is just like the unknown with this new coaching staff, but there was something for me with Bobby Petrino because yeah, he's going to go get his quarterback and everything, but it almost didn't matter to me because I felt like they were going to find success offensively anyway. Like, okay, Malachi Singleton comes in. All right, fine. Like I for whatever reason, I just trust Bobby. They're going to be able to move the football. It'll be fine. Oh, Taylon's stinking it up. Here comes KJ Jackson. He hasn't played at all. That's fine. Like they're going to be able to matriculate the ball up and down the field, and they'll be able to figure it out. I can't give Ryan Silverfield and Cramsley and all these guys the benefit of the doubt yet. Not because they're not capable. I don't know, and they also haven't proven it on this stage yet. And that was one thing about Bobby is like you just always knew in the back of your mind, well, push comes to shove, they're going to move the football. Like they're going to have some success there. And I just don't know that we can say that yet with this group. So if I had that comfort in my back pocket, I'd feel even different about this. But it just kind of adds to the level of I don't know if concern's the right word, but I think unknown is the main thing. Like we're not going to know until we see it.
Forgive me for just a second because I have to make a comparison to Chad Morris.
Oh God,
jeez.
So. I mean, listen, now, obviously, I'm not actually comparing it, but I remember that quarterback situation where Chad Morris comes in 2018, and he doesn't go out and get a guy. He just runs it back. They had Cole Kelly and Ty Story, who were there the year before. They were the two backups to Austin Allen. He just ran it with those guys and was like, hey, these are the guys that we're going to do the offense with.
And Connor Nolan. Don't forget our guy
Connor Nolan, of course, who signed his letter of intent in Rome or whatever it was. No, like that was – he just basically chose, hey, I'm just going to roll it back with these guys. And then after the year was like, oh, the reason it didn't work is because I didn't go out and get my guy. Let me go get Ben Hicks. Let me go get Nick Starkel or whatever. And they ran it, the next year. And obviously with Chad Morris, neither one of those worked. And that's because Chad Morris sucks. And that's why this comparison ends right here. But I just don't think like if Silverfield just decides, hey, we're going to run it with KJ Jackson and that's our guy and we'll just be fine with that. We're fine with that. We will talk ourselves into it because we like KJ Jackson. It's not going to be that hard of a sell, frankly, but it's not a valid excuse after year one to say, oh, well, we didn't really get our guy. We didn't really go that in this day and age. There is no excuse for that. We don't give you that 1 year buffer, which by the way, that's the only reason Chad Morris wasn't fired right off the bat. Is because you could kind of talk yourself into, oh, he's got to bring in his guys. He's got to get his own offense set and yada, yada, yada. Let's bring Ben Hicks, even though he sucked at the AAC level. Let's have him in the SEC. Like, that was at least a built-in excuse that he had. I don't think Silverfield has that. Like, I think if he runs it with KJ Jackson and the team sucks and goes 2-10 this year, that is not going to be a valid excuse that we accept as a fan base.
Yeah. And that's, again, I think it's a good discussion because it's the same thing that I felt like with KJ Jackson. I'm not saying that I'm anti him or that he'd be bad or anything, but if that's like who they roll with and they're like, hey, this is our starter, this is the guy, I'm just going to be a little bit like, because this was the guy that you just inherited. It wasn't a guy that was you saw or you liked or anything. You inherited him. And who knows, maybe he's from all your film studies and all that, you saw, hey, this is a guy we know we can win with right now. But it's just gonna be a little bit like, okay, man, like, you sure? All right, well, we'll just go with this and hope for the best. There's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of unknown, a lot of mystery behind it. So we'll continue our discussions, get on a little basketball talk as well. I know everyone's excited about that, but want to remind everybody that OZK Insurance is one of our great sponsors here, not only in Arkansas Live, but also Pod at the Palace post-game show you can catch, because a lot of you are probably tired of juggling insurance companies to find the right coverage, especially this time of year. Spending goes up a little bit because you're trying to get some gifts for some people, and also time just goes out the window. There's so much busy times that you just run out of it. Well, don't worry about finding the right insurance company, because OZK is going to do that for you. They're based in Rogers, and they make insurance simple again because they're a 100% independent agency where they shop the entire marketplace for the best combination of cost and coverage, which saves you both what? Time and money. How about that? And it doesn't matter if it's home, auto, boat, motorcycle, life, or even commercial insurance. Their friendly team has access to a wide range of flexible options that are designed just for you, and it's going to help you out. And they have over 600 5-star Google reviews, folks. So if you don't want to take it from us, which you should, go to the Googles and look up all the reviews that they have. Not just over 600 reviews, over 600 5-star Google reviews is what they have. So start with a free online quote today at ozkinsurance.com, or you can call 479-715-4200. That's 479-715-4200. It's OZK Insurance, protection made simple. And the portal will be starting up here in January. So about, I guess, a little over a week. What is that? So it'd be Thursday, Friday, I guess would be the start of the portal next Friday.
Crazy, man. We're getting there, aren't we?
I know. 2026. This year's flown by, but for all the right reasons and all the good reasons there too. So, we'll get into some other discussions here. But wanted to bring up this because Curtis, I know you brought this to our attention as well. But we love a little basketball talk, especially when it comes to bracketology. And I saw that this you sent with Arkansas. They went down. That performance against Houston. You had to bump them down a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, Arkansas is the only program in the country that can lose a single-digit game to a team like Houston and get bumped 2 damn seed lines. It's unbelievable, man. I've never seen anything like it. But I like the draw.
Yeah. Well, see, that was what I was saying. It's one of those deals to where if we found out, which I don't think we do, but if we found out that, say, if we thought Arkansas at the end of the season was getting a 4 seed and then ended up getting a 6 seed before we saw the draw, be like, oh, this is crap. This is BS. I'm sick of this. Yep. And then we see the actual draw, like, I like this draw. This is the way to do it. And so, yeah, it'd be great, man. This would be awesome.
Let me ask you. Well, first of all, Oklahoma City. That's the biggest key factor into all of this. If Arkansas is able to play that first weekend in Oklahoma City, they're coming out of it. I don't care who else is there. It'll be like home games, man. I keep going back to that Texas Tech game that we were all just at, and the amount of Razorback fans in there. It was crazy, bro. It was a lot of fun. That would be sick if Arkansas wound up getting there. So if they got, seed screwed and wound up a 6 or whatever, but they went to Oklahoma City, I'd be okay with it. Indiana, very fraudulent. I'd be all for that. Kansas, Arkansas owns them in the postseason. The team I'd be most scared of is Oakland, boys.
Yes.
Does Cal want to see Oakland in the NCAA tournament again? I think they'd be okay, but still, that'd be kind of crazy, man. But yeah, it's that's a very interesting one. I wouldn't mind getting another shot at Duke in the tournament. Like that sets up pretty nicely for an Arkansas team to make a pretty good run there, in my opinion. I go to DC for the second weekend. Why not?
This is a fascinating situation where Arkansas's, seeding has dropped, but their draw has gotten better. And I think that's an important thing to consider. I love bracketology. I love obsessing over this kind of stuff. And as we get closer to March, we're going to be every single day on the show, we're going to be referencing brackets and all this. But it's why I would caution fans to not freak out so much over like, oh crap, we should be a 4 seed. This guy has us as a 5 seed. This guy has us as a 6 seed. But because dude, the draw could be better for you as a 6 or a 7 seed. Or it could be, hard for you as a 3 or 4. Like, you just never really know. And honestly, I feel like Arkansas has gotten some decent luck over the last 8 years or so when it comes to draws and the way some of it has played out. Obviously, Muss's first big run got some luck with Oral Roberts being the team he faced in the Sweet 16. You just never know. But this is a fascinating thing to see here because, we can be mad that Arkansas drops down to a 6 seed, but it's like, if that's the draw, man, I'll sign up for that right now. Let's just end the season. Mm-hmm. Let's start right now. Roll the balls out. I'm with you, though, on the Oklahoma City factor for sure.
Well, and it's funny to me because just looking at it from just the past few years, which we know, not to brag, but Arkansas has been to 4 of the last 5 Sweet 16s, which, of course, the one year they didn't go to the tournament. Also been the 2 Elite Eights in that. But it's not like, okay, well, Arkansas, this is the magic number seed. It's like, no, you were a 3 seed, you were a 4 seed, you were an 8 seed, and you were a 10 seed, and you still made the Sweet 16. So it's like, and not to say that, of course, you want a higher seed because by rule, or at least on paper and in some sort of thought process, it should be an easier path to advancing. But it's like you can still find ways to do it. And that's why with this one, it's like, yeah, I would sign up for that. Let's just be honest. I think it would be, well, let me put it this way. You got 3 teams in there that are pretty historically solid basketball programs with pretty large fan bases. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma City would be buzzing with basketball fans. Just from those 3 with Arkansas, Indiana, and Kansas alone, it would be buzzing. There'd probably be more Kansas fans just because it's a bigger fan base, just to be honest. But Arkansas would definitely hold their own because they would be, I think Oklahoma City's closer to Fayetteville than it would be Lawrence. I don't know. But
it's got to be pretty close.
Yeah. So either way, it would be great, man. And I would love this. And I think again, we're talking about bracketology in late December. So it's not like, oh, okay, well, this is about to happen, but certainly would be awesome if it did. And I even texting, I was like, man, there's no way we'll get that lucky. We're gonna end up going to Portland or some crap like that.
Oh, dude. Yeah, you already know we're going to be hopping multiple time zones to get somewhere. There's zero doubt in my mind about that. But first of all, LSU is not going to be a 9 seed in the NCAA tournament. They're not going to make the NCAA tournament. That's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. I watched enough LSU basketball getting beat by Prairie View A&M yesterday. They wound up winning the game, but they were losing in the second half to know that they're not making the tournament this year. I just want to point something out. 2 things real quick on Illinois as a 4 seed in there. First of all, they beat the hell out of Missouri yesterday.
Man.
91 to 48. What is Dennis Gates? Listen, okay. You have an offer on your record, and you spent 3 years in the SEC. Your first year, you made the tournament, and you got popped by Princeton.
Oof.
Your next year, you went 0-18 in the league. The year after that, you got popped in the first round by Drake, and now you're getting beat 43 in a rivalry game. I don't know. That's some bad basketball over there. But Illinois, have y'all watched Big Z play this year?
Yes, a little bit.
He looks like he hit puberty a second time.
Yep.
Like, it's crazy. He looks like an adult now. It's just like his facial features. You know what I mean? He looks like a grown man, and he's moving better in there. He's playing harder in ways that irritates me because I'm like, bro, where was this last year? His numbers are lower than they were at Arkansas, but he's a better basketball player. He looks good in there, and I was happy to see it.
Yeah, he hit the gym. Remember, that was what everyone was talking about. Oh, he just went over there and hit the gym, and that's all he needed.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I was weird to see because I was looking at his stats actually the other day, and hitting only 66% from the free throw line. I'm like, dude, I felt like at Arkansas he was about as money as it could get when it comes to the free throw line, which I know like 3-point percentage, field goal percentage, but free throws don't change. You know, it's still the same situation. So, yeah, like Illinois is one of those teams that I'm kind of glad Arkansas did not play them on Thanksgiving this year. You know, that would have been, I'd rather play Duke, which still lost, but still Illinois looks really good. But yeah,
They
same
went out and
Missouri.
got-
What's that?
I was just gonna say Illinois did the thing again, but even more than they did last year, where they went out and got a bunch of European pros. Like, these dudes are all 23 years old, and they've been making money in Europe playing basketball for like 5 years, and now they're over there.
Yeah, they served a term in the military somehow. Like they're just like they went to like Uganda down there to hold down they're grown men.
Does Brad Underwood speak Croatian or whatever? Like, I don't know how that works, but he does this every year now, where he goes and gets 5 Eastern European dudes and 1 athletic freshman, and then they just wind up being good. It's the weirdest thing. Whatever.
Yeah. Also, too, I'm sure you saw this too, Curtis, but shout out to your Lindenwood team. Their bracketology for the play-in game as the 16 seed as an automatic qualifier, where they get to play Michigan in the first game if they get through the play-in. So
that'd be awesome.
Yaxel don't want those problems, man.
Oh man, yeah, that would be awesome. But here's the deal: is like, I know we're gonna go to the tournament no matter where it's at, folks. But is it weird, guys, that I'd rather go to Buffalo again than go to Portland once? Is that weird?
A little.
Okay.
Although I don't think Portland's high up there on most people's.
No,
it's not.
It's not a very endearing place to be, I don't think. I don't know. Anytime I ever hear anything about Portland, it's like unrest that's going on over there. Like, we don't have to get political, but like, it just seems like not a lot of fun. I've been there one time. We just spent 1 day and 1 night there, me and Michelle, on a vacation that we took. And it was cool. Like, it's kind of like a funky town. In a way, it reminds me of like the West Coast Providence. You remember how, because we enjoyed that, and it was just a little bit different, something about it. And it's a quirky place, but that's just so far. I would just love to be in a situation where there are a bunch of Arkansas fans who were able to watch this team play in March Madness. So
yeah.
Well, dude, they would also, by the way, we were talking about the draw. They would beat Kansas like a redheaded stepchild, like truly. And that would be officially Arkansas would be Kansas's father NCAA tournament, or just postseason in general.
This is true.
Well, and I'm also looking at it from the perspective of what's just going to cost more. What's going to be more expensive to go to? And after last year, when it was, I guess, what was it, Seattle, And for that, and I saw that, like, of all the prices that I put together of like what would be the most expensive, Seattle was by far the most expensive one. And so I was like, I don't want to do that. But my power rankings would be, you know, Oklahoma City, St. Louis, go back to Curtis's old stomping grounds.
What are you over there giggling at, Curtis?
I just opened my phone and saw the Kentucky Bellarmine score, but
oh no.
What is
they
it?
are up though, right?
It's a one possession game deep in the first half. I saw a couple of people comment on that, so I looked it up. I was like, "What's going on over here?" Choked me up.
Well,
closer than it needs to be. Sorry, it got me.
No, I tell you what, that's a perfect segue because we may bring up something about Kentucky here just for funsies and Christmas and all that good stuff. But I want to remind everybody that Hickey & Hole Law is the official law firm here at Inside Arkansas. And whenever you need a lawyer to help out with any of these cases when it comes to divorce and custody cases, which we know are extremely important, criminal cases, civil litigation cases, personal injury, estate planning, all the above, they take care of you each and every step of the way. It's Hickey & Hole Law because they are going to make sure that they build that strong attorney-client relationship through honesty and trust, and they always will build those relationships in the best way possible by providing that honest, principled advice and representation. These are the important things. You don't want to face anything alone. You want to have the experts do it. You want to have people who help you every step of the way, the people that care about your cases and care about making sure you're represented the right way. So have Hickey & Hole Law take care of you today. They have offices across the entire state of Arkansas in Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Little Rock, and Mena. So call them today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. Or you can check out their website at hickeyandhole.com. Scan that QR code right there on your screen. It's Hickey & Hole Law. Things are about to get better. All right, so we're just having some fun here, folks, because Andrew's going to pop off at 1:00. He's getting evicted from his hotel room, so we're gonna have to get to the good stuff while we're here. But since you brought up the Kentucky score and everything like that, I just thought we like to talk about what's going on in the world in sports, and the most timely and most important popular topics. And Mark Pope is definitely one of those guys. He provides some content, man. He provides some content and. He was talking about Reed Shepard. We all remember Reed. Not that it gets brought up all the time, but I'm just going to play this clip about him trying to keep Reed Shepard to stay at Kentucky for another year.
Shepard told me that Reed was done before I ever took the job, which was disappointing. But it was also the right thing to do. But Shep was kind enough to get me on the phone with Reed. Reed, what was this, a couple days after, a day after something? Shep, when was it?
It was. Yes, he had already headed out to Los Angeles to start training, but he had not announced it publicly that he was leaving.
And so Shep gives me this opportunity, and I'm like, you know what? I could do this, man. I can do this. So I went straight, the whole Gipper speech, and I was like, remember the Titans and Friday Night Lights. I was bringing all the goods. Like, I was crying, I was yelling, I was screaming over the phone, emoting like crazy, right? Shep, you were really in tears. You were moved, weren't you?
I was moved. Yeah, and you said, Reed, the fans here are not going to stand up and cheer for you. They're going to stand up and cry for you. I mean, it was beautiful. You laid it on the line.
So it was like,
beautiful.
And I'm in my own mind, it's sometimes a scary place. I'm like, this is happening. Reed Shepard is going to announce his return as I'm giving this recruiting speech of all time, like feeling it. And then that was it. I finished. It was just a moment of silence. And the only things Reed said was like, I don't even think he said, thanks, Coach. He just said, hey, Dad, are you bringing my socks out here?
Wow. Just... I want to like Mark Pope. I really do. I try to give him a few shots. But man, it's just, I'll fully admit it. Like a lot of my, my feelings towards him has been steamed from Kentucky fans, a lot of them. And they're, the comparisons that Cal and him get. And just every time that, he farts blue rainbows, everyone's like, oh, this guy just gets it. But it's like, man, why? Like, why? Like, I think you brought up, Andrew's like, why even share this story? Like, what was the point of this? I don't know. I heard this and I was like, I can't deal with this today, man.
Well, I mean, KSR just writes the story where they've got a bunch of agents and, families of these 5-star recruits that Pope has been whiffing on who are saying, yeah, he just sucks at the closing table. Like he cannot finish the negotiating table. And that's just not something you want out there publicly for your head coach. So Pope gets on this radio show and just like, hey, yeah, here's a prime example of why I can't do it. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he got out of that. Reed Shepard's a pro hog. We all know. So.
Yeah.
I mean, by the way, the context of, and I know we made a big deal joking about it at the time, but when Arkansas played Kentucky last year, Reed Shepard shows up to the Rockets game that night wearing an Arkansas shirt representing Arkansas basketball, which you can take that however you want. I think it was probably Reed just making a little joke, probably wasn't to be taken that seriously, but like that context makes this story even worse. Not only did he say no to wanting to play for you, and by the way, he was probably baffled that you called him because he went 3rd overall in the freaking draft. Like, it's one thing if you're like the 29th overall pick and it's like, hey, you're a first rounder, but we can make you a lottery guy, or hey, you're a second round. The 3rd overall pick in a weak draft class, and he had a tremendous freshman year. It was a complete no-brainer, and anyone with a brain knew Reed Shepard was going to declare for the draft, and everyone with a brain knew that Reed Shepard was like going to get drafted high, and it wasn't even a discussion. And I don't know why he's like ignoring that context of like, hey, I know it was stupid for me to waste my time even having this phone call, but I did it, and I got a very negative reception from the player who now literally reps Arkansas. He reps Coach Calipari and his new squad instead of repping Kentucky. And by the way, he's from the state of Kentucky. This is a guy who was like born and bred a Kentucky guy, and I am such a nerd loser that he now represents Arkansas and doesn't even claim Kentucky. And I offended him on the phone by being such a weirdo. What's crazy is like, if I had to guess, the actual story probably isn't as dramatic as what he laid out of, I gave him this crazy speech. And it's
nothing he has ever said is as dramatic as he makes it out to be.
Right. And it's one of those things where, and we talk about this kind of stuff all the time, like whether it's Sam Pittman or Hunter Yurachek that like tells us a lie. And we're like, why do you even want us to believe that this lie is true? Like, why do you want us to believe that you called Reed Shepard and poured your heart out and gave this crazy speech? Like, why would you, like, I'm sure he reached out, and I'm sure Reed Shepard said no, but it's like, I don't know why everything he does has to be this like weird song and dance bit. And honestly, like, we do a lot of on this show of like reading deep into things. This isn't even something you have to read that deep into. Just watch the video and tell me, as a Kentucky fan or as a Razorback fan or as a whatever, tell me what you think of that guy in that video. Like, do you think that's a cool guy that people want to play for?
Well, my thing is like, I've never recruited players. So, and maybe Curtis, since you're a college basketball coach, you could probably attest to this, but I've always felt like recruiting is giving, and like recruiting pitches is about making sure that the player knows that if he commits to you, you're going to be looking out for his best interest, because that's what people want. That's what players want. They want, hey, if I'm going to play for you, regardless of if it's a transfer or whatever, I know that this person, well, why do I play for you? Because you're going to get me to the next level. Why do I play with you? Because I know you're going to have me start, whatever it is. But it's like, to me, it's like you go into that and it comes across, and maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but it comes across as just like almost selfish, which is a huge turnoff for a player. It's like, dude, you're trying to get me to stay for you, not because it's best for me, but it's because for you. And, again, I'm not saying that that's what the intent was, because if I'm a coach, I want all the best players. I want to keep them. Like, I get it. But at the same time, I just, it's one of those deals to where I just feel like it makes it more look like a selfish type of thing of like, no, I know that it's probably better for you to go, but I'm still going to say all these things to try to get you to stay. And I don't know. I just feel like as if I was one of those players, it would just rub me the wrong way, if that makes sense.
Well, I really only I've got two big issues with it. And because I understand the context. I guess he was talking to his dad or whatever. They have a relationship from their playing days and everything. So fine. That's okay. Shoot your shot. Hey, you got me on the phone with it. You can say that. Yeah, we knew it wasn't going to happen. Shot our shot. Didn't work out. Ha, cool. My two big issues that one, he used the term emoting, and I can't get behind that. I'm sorry. I just can't do it.
It's like a Fortnite dance.
It's like an ick or whatever. I don't know. I just don't like it. But then the other thing, you could have just left out the part where you finish your speech and then you admitted that he was like, yeah, I think the only thing he said was, if dad put my socks in the bag or whatever. It's like, I wouldn't have gone there. I would have left that part out. Like, hey, we tried. He was all set. Appreciate getting on the phone with him. I gave my best, rah-rah speech, but that dude's he was a top 5 pick in the draft. It is what it is. It's all good. But you kind of made yourself look bad, where it's like, I gave the speech of my life, man. And you were moved, weren't you? Weren't you moved by that? Well, his kid wasn't. And it's just like, I don't know, man.
Well, dude, and I saw like a handful, not a lot. I'm not trying to say this is the overwhelming narrative, but I did see a few Kentucky fans responding to this video and trying to put a positive spin on it by saying, oh, Cal always, his whole thing is getting guys to the NBA. Well, Pope is actually trying to keep some of these guys, and this is actually a good thing that Mark Pope tries to get these guys to play for Kentucky. And it's just another example of how their brains are so broken. And we've made fun of this for a while, of how like a lot of the things that they use to make fun of Cal aren't really like things that are bad. Like they're like, oh, his whole thing is prioritizing helping families and getting kids to the NBA and all that. Like that's a thing. They use that as a knock on Cal, and it's not really much of a thing. Y'all remember last year, every time we would talk about DJ Wagner, Kentucky fans would flood the chat and they would be like, he started DJ Wagner over Reed Shepard and he got in the way of Reed Shepard doing all this. And we're like, dude, do you realize that Reed Shepard got drafted 3rd overall? And like, that clearly didn't affect Reed Shepard's draft stock at all. In fact, it helped it objectively because he went from completely off the board going into his freshman year to the number 3 overall pick. And it's just like, it's just hilarious how many of these things that Kentucky fans use to like dunk on Cal that like just make Cal look good. And it's like all it takes is you guys doing crap like this and Mark Pope trying his hardest to not look like a nerd. And it just makes everything Mark Pope does makes Cal look better. And Cal's just over here spending Christmas with his family like a normal person while Mark Pope's over here throwing up on himself in public. It's hilarious.
Well, I'm just hoping that one day Mark Pope gains some weight and looks like a potato up top, and then he just like puts he could be Gru from whatever that cartoon was.
That's crazy.
I mean, I just feel like he's got the look of him, and he's like he could do it, man. If he ever wants to do that for Halloween, like he could do it.
That was disrespectful, John. I know we're disrespectful, but
That's crazy.
That was disrespectful.
Hey, as our guy over in the chat, Hayden says, "Happy Festivus." Appreciate the super chat, which is airing grievances of everybody. That's it's allowed. It's allowed today. So,
is Mark Pope your grievance?
He's one of them.
Okay,
he's one of them. I have a lot of problems with you people out there.
To be fair,
so.
The best basketball player on the planet right now does look a lot like Gru.
Yeah, he does. Actually.
Oh, yeah, he does.
Yeah, he does.
He's got a lot of Gru look to him. So,
yes,
to be fair, that's honestly good in the basketball context.
Yes, he does. We'll get to your chat, speaking of, but want to remind everybody that Bet Saracen's the #1 sports betting app in the state of Arkansas for a reason. Not only because, I mean, they partner with Inside Arkansas and we're the best, but also because they're going to have the best deals when it comes to specials, promos, each and everything you could possibly want when it comes to sports betting here in Arkansas. And the best thing about it is that because you listen and you rock with us here at Inside Arkansas, we got a great deal for you through Bet Saracen, that if you scan that QR code right there on your screen, or you click the link below in the description, you can download the Bet Saracen app and you get a chance to put in a code. Well, we use code INSIDEAR, because when you use that code, you get $125 whenever you bet $25. That's $100 free to use in sports betting with Bet Saracen. So be sure to do that and start with all the crazy, great sporting events going on, college football playoffs, college basketball going on. We got the NFL, and the playoffs will be here before we know it too. So get on top of it. Get this great deal with the no strings attached deal with Bet Saracen. Again, scan the QR code on your screen, click the link below, download the app, and use code INSIDEAR, where you bet $25, you get $125 with Bet Saracen. All right, so getting into some of your chats. Appreciate everybody tuning in and hanging out with us. I already read yours, Hayden, so you can move on. But how about JJK says, Merry Christmas to all the Inside Arkansas crew and everyone in the chat.
Heck yeah. Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas to you. Thank you.
Yeah, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. John Pigman just says positivity stream.
Yes.
Hey.
John
right.
Pigman set the tone yesterday with that. Yep.
He's been bringing the positivity.
And I will say, the chat's been pretty damn solid the last couple days.
Yeah.
It's a very, very solid chat today. I've seen some of the ones we got started here. I've been following it, and it's good conversation. So maybe Pigman is the ringer here for the chat. It's good stuff.
It's either because of the Christmas week, or you just jinxed it. Now it's just going to turn into a cesspool. Like it's just immediately right off the bat.
Well, I know a couple specific characters that are about to make their voices heard now that Curtis said that.
Well, yeah,
it's just guaranteed. But yeah, so we'll get through. We have heavy hitters too. Because again, I know Ellis is gonna have to get off here in a few. But either way, Michelle says, "LOL, his favorite song." To be honest, talking about the intro for your son.
Intro.
So.
Yeah, he's he likes it, man.
Yeah,
he's becoming very aware as a small baby, and there are certain things that make him smile. His dad and the Inside Arkansas Live intro. So
shout out to Gib. You've got a fan.
Yep, you hit the lullaby jackpot with Wesley there. But I know it's funny because I'm like I don't know, but I would feel it's probably the only song he has to hear almost every day is that one. So
it's pretty much true.
He's gonna grow up. His first words are gonna be like "Inside Arkansas," like that's gonna be just his thing.
I'm gonna introduce him to Dominic the Donkey later today. Y'all know about that?
Oh yeah.
No. What is this?
You don't know Dominic the Donkey? Scotty didn't know.
I learned him through you, to be fair.
Okay.
Dominic the Donkey. Is this something if I look up, I'm going to get mad?
No. It's a Christmas. It's a Christmas tune.
The Italian Christmas donkey.
Yeah, bro. I didn't know about it until I started going to my Italian wife's household for the holidays.
Oh,
I can't remember what year it was. You told me about this, and I had the same reaction where I was like, Dominic the Donkey.
Yeah, that sounds like something like one of those like viral videos that were so like funny because they're so weird and creepy. I was like, okay, it's like what was it from the movie Super Troopers? Do you guys remember the like cartoon that they had when they were talking about all the weed that they were doing? I don't know. It's a real deep cut. But anyways, it reminds me of that, just like some like foreign cartoon that's kind of weird. But I guess it got kind of part of it, right? Where it is a foreign cartoon. Is it in Italian? Like, does it have subtitles?
No.
Okay. All right, good. That works. But just speaking of
after the show, everybody listen to Dominic the Donkey.
Yes. There's just going to be a surge of people in Arkansas just listening to Dominic the Donkey. Sweet Arkansas gals, speaking of the interests, I think you should add the picture of Ellis catching the foul ball into the intro. So
yeah,
we should.
Think so too. That's not in there. It should be. Yeah.
It
was on my wrapper that John gave me at Alumni Hall, like my wrapping for my my present. It was nice.
Well, it was like I thought about using that one or one that's like so old that like you look like one of the many ones you've gotten pictures with former current Razorbacks when you were a kid, like just using like the one with you and DJ Williams or something like that. Just like
it's crazy. I've got multiple pictures of DJ Williams at like different points in my life. I took a picture with him in like 2015 or 16 where I was like borderline a grown adult and I'm just posted up with DJ Williams. Might have to recreate it.
Hey, do what you got to do. Kopesky's in here. He's like, can we do a poll? Does Cal need to add another player?
We don't need to do a poll because I think it would be very lopsided in the wrong direction. I don't know if it's been Kopesky every time, but we've had multiple people ask about this recently. I don't know. You've got a top 20 team in the country here, and you have a very tight 8-man rotation. Like Isaiah Seeley's been with you all year. He hasn't even been able to crack the rotation. Why would you add somebody to this in the middle of I'm
going to make this point before they kick me out of my hotel because they're literally outside right now. It's not like the NBA buyout market where there's just like stretch bigs available. Like I know there are teams that do add players in January.
Teams doing this now are panicking.
It's very few and far between too. It's not a thing where it's like, hey, it's January. Let's all pick up an extra 4. It's not really a thing that many people do. So it's like there are very unique circumstances where it's a specific situation and you could maybe bring in a guy that could maybe help you a little bit. It's rare that you actually just have a guy available. And most of the guys that are available right now would not be in the rotation for the Arkansas Razorbacks for, full disclosure. I'm leaving you guys on this note because, again, they're literally like outside the door right now. Yeah. But love you guys. Merry Christmas. Everyone, keep those spirits high. Keep the positivity flowing. Shout out to John Pigman. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll talk to you very soon.
All right.
We'll see you, buddy. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Ellis. So there you go. Yeah. He was even talking to me before the show started. Like, yeah, though it's like, they won't like kick me out right at 1, right? I was like, nah, I've never had an issue with that. But it's like, no, I heard the door knocking I was like, oh my goodness, they are there. They are ready to just be like, listen, buddy, you've overstayed your welcome. So
it's pretty funny. He's gonna get hit with that late fee, extra night charge for trying to do his job. I
know, seriously. Well, that's why I told him too. I was like, our show time is not very conducive to hotel checkouts because it's like 11 a.m. and then if you get late one, it's 1 and it's still not great. So, which is a perfect little segue because Woo Pig MK says, love the Festus hats, John and Curtis. Andrew got to step up his Christmas hat game.
Yeah, I don't know if Andrew's got a good Christmas hat selection, but I do know he's got a Christmas hoodie, like a hooded sweatshirt that's got the Christmas lights all over it. It's an awesome sweatshirt, and I was kind of surprised he wasn't wearing that one today. But he told me it's like a lint magnet or whatever. You take it out, and if you put it on anything, it just collects all the hair and the dust and everything. So that's probably why he wasn't wearing it. It's an awesome shirt, though.
Let's see. Also, a shout to Hickory Hog says, getting to do work on the farm in a t-shirt in December is a blessing. So I ain't mad.
I mean, honestly, it's crazy. Like, I don't know. Are you a big white Christmas guy? Do you feel like you have to have the snow and everything? Does that make it better for you?
I think it's better like on occasion, like if it happens once in a while, but I don't have to have it.
Like I want the kiddo to be able to have it. Like, oh, cool. I don't know. It just feels a little bit more Christmassy, but I'm kind of pumped up about this one. Like all the Christmas dinner stuff, I'm just like firing up the grill and going to be outside and everything. So this is cool for me, man.
Yeah. It's like, if it's not going to snow, then be warm. You know what I'm saying? Like, unless that's the only way I want it cold is if it's going to snow with it. Cause then it's okay. But if it's just like, there's nothing worse and to me in life than having weather where it's like 36, 37 degrees and raining. Like that is the worst thing ever. So it's like, if it's gonna be this cold, just snow. But I'm okay with just wearing shorts and going outside and enjoying it. If it's not,
y'all know how I feel about pants, man. So this is great.
Yeah, exactly. Kapasky just says, I don't trust Nick Pringle in SEC play.
I love Kopesky, I really do, but some of the takes are wild. If there's one area to trust Nick Pringle, it is SEC play. He's been in the damn league for a decade.
I know.
Multi-year starter for really good Alabama teams. Started all year last year at South Carolina. Like, if there's one thing we know about Nick Pringle, it is that he is a competent, serviceable SEC big man. He's not a superstar. He's not going to do anything crazy, but he is proven very capable of being able to compete on an SEC basketball floor. It's just crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. Hickory Hog says Lagway is Ron Roberts' favorite quarterback. Yeah, I'm sure he is. Well, because of the Florida connection. So hey, I would take another Florida transfer quarterback. I would take it. It's worked out last time with Felipe Franks, so I would definitely do it. Who Pig MK says the new font looks like a cartoon. It's fun. Fun fact: this font is called Grinch because apparently it's the Grinch font.
Really?
So, yeah, I went and found it and uploaded it to our StreamYard. I was like, yeah, it'll be fun for Christmas, you know.
Speaking of Grinch, have you
it's on the docket? It's on the docket tonight. It's on the docket tonight.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Tonight I have like because like in my new place, you know, I have my stove and my microwave went out. And they don't do service maintenance calls during this point in time. So it's like, well, I just air fryer and like using my Instapot. So I was like, and I was like, it kind of sucks because I had some stuff I was going to make for the family Christmas. So I'm like, I guess I'm just going to be bringing in drinks, like just get some 2 liters and that'll be my contribution to the Christmas thing. So,
hey, I have no issues whatsoever with I'll bring the drinks guy to the holiday parties. So,
because I feel like some people, not everybody, some people feel like, oh, I got to bring something that's made and all that. But like the drinks are one of the most important things. Like you gotta have it. You gotta have them. Yeah.
You could be the paper plates guy too, you know?
Yeah. Paper plates. Let's see, utensils, like all the stuff that everyone forgets about. See, Evan says, I think Silverfield knows he needs to stun with this portal class. Just have to have some energy for the off season.
Did you see, I think they deleted the tweet, but the Silverfield with the sledgehammer thing.
Yep.
I don't know about that.
I mean, I was like, it was one of those things to where it's like, I got why people were like, this is dumb, you know, or whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. It's like, could I have done without it? Sure. But I'm also not up in arms about it. But when they delete it though, then I'm like, okay. Well,
it's like they read their comments, you know, and like you see one person say this is giving off Chad Morris, and then it's like, delete. We shouldn't have done this. Just like when they did the now that's how you call the Hogs, and then they deleted it or they edited the tweet real quick because it was like, oh, we're acknowledging that he sucked the first time he did it at Bud Walton Arena. Way too much awareness of what other people think there, but I did find it interesting.
Well, I also thought, and I know it doesn't matter because you guys talked about Ian Jaffard yesterday, but I saw that I think it was Nakos deleted the original tweet about him entering into the transfer portal, but then he kept the quote tweet up of how Arkansas is still trying to get him to come back. I saw that last night, so I was like, wonder if that means that. I don't know if it means anything, but I just thought it was interesting because usually when those guys delete tweets, it's because I even looked back, I was like, well, maybe he deleted it because something was wrong, but no, it was gone. So I don't know what that means, if anything.
Sounds like the first set of negotiations maybe didn't go that well.
Yeah.
with, like with the representation or whatever. This sounds like leverage to me, which I don't know how much he has, but
Yeah, right. Speaking of, Muscle Hog says if they can't keep Jafar, does it mean our money isn't right?
no.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I get it, because if you feel like he prices his way out of there to a different school, you could feel some type of way about it. But this is one of those instances. Like, I rolled my eyes when Sam Pittman did the thing last year where he was like, well, some of these guys are just asking for crazy amounts and we get 2 players for the price of that or whatever. But when it's, guys that you need and there's a real market for them, then you might just have to pay up. I don't know if Ian Jafard falls into that category. I know they've got a lot of work to do on the defensive line. So it's like the more you have returning of guys who could play for you, the better off you are. But I think regardless, they've got to go out and get a couple starting defensive tackles anyway. Even if you have Jafard back, like I think you kind of need to maybe upgrade there. So if he's asking for SEC starting, draft type of defensive tackle money, then he can go find it somewhere else, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's my thing is I'm like, I don't know what the negotiations are and how much money he's asking or whatever. My thing is like, hey, if he comes back to Arkansas or he decides to stay on, and obviously Silverfield and them felt like he was worth having back, and that's fine with me. But if he moves on, then that's fine too. He's one of those players, like you said, it's like, not that he's bad, but it's also not that he's like, oh, you got to have him. It's just, one of those things to where it'd be nice, but also no big deal if he ends up moving on.
Right. Hey, I want to pose 2 questions to the chat real quick. I know we're going to keep going through it. And we got some things to go to. One, well, I'll ask you and then we'll let people weigh in on the chat. Have you ever had a Cornish game hen, John?
No, I have not. I've heard of it, but I've never had one.
Well, I've got the stuffed variety and I'm making them for Christmas Eve.
Okay.
Don't know what to do with them. So I'm going to be looking up some recipes and everything. But if anybody has experience with that in the chat, let me know. I'm all ears. Okay.
Did you know Kingsley's going to come flying in here with like,
I already know. know.
He's going to be like, man, you got to dip it in some mango habanero honey or something crazy like that. I see you. Like he's already saying in the chat. He's like, I'll text you, Curtis.
Okay. Well, this is what I was hoping for, because if I would probably trust Kingsley with my life, honestly, but his food takes are unbelievable. So I'm looking forward to that. My question for you, are you an eggnog guy or no?
Yes.
Hot
on
or
occasion.
Chilled.
Chilled.
Warm or chilled. Okay.
Chilled.
Okay.
Are you hot?
Well, I don't know. I've never really had it that much. Like I've done like an eggnog shake before. I got it at, Shakes or Andy's or something.
Yeah.
But I went and got some eggnog because I was like, I gotta try it out, spike it or whatever. And I did it hot and it was okay, I guess. I just haven't done it chilled. I just gotta,
Well, I'll say this. I know a lot of people, and this could be your call, because I've always loved the cinnamon
right,
like combination with, stuff like that, like milk type of stuff. So some people will put like either Fireball or like Jack Daniel's Red, the cinnamon whiskey with it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're just looking for, a little extra combo, I know that's a pretty good roll with it. So,
okay. All right.
But
Thank you.
yeah. It's what I'm here for, for that. Because it's like looking up Christmas drinks. I feel like eggnog has to be the power ranking #1, right? Like there's like hot cocoa maybe in there for Christmas.
Cocoa's up there for sure.
Cranberry. I've seen a lot of people do like cranberry like vodkas, and stuff.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Going for the alcohol stuff.
It's the season. We used to always have like the holiday punch. It'd have like I don't know what all went into it, but something, and then Sprite and like the lime sherbet or whatever, and it was always pretty good. I don't know what the hell you call it, but
yeah, it's just Christmassy though. You got to put like a little I don't know, whatever the green little tree thing is in there.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, you scoop it out of a bowl with a ladle, and
yeah, that's what it's all about. All right, so a few chats here too, because we'll have our heavy hitters, which we'll probably still talk about Christmas because it's the season. It's the season for that. It's like this from Finch, where he's like, "I'll never send my wife to the eye center. I know I've outkicked my coverage."
This is a good.
That's a good one.
Chat right there.
yeah. It's probably why a lot of people are kind of nervous about that too. So, also, let's see. Finch just says 3 positives. John looking like he's been at the beach. Curtis chops are coming in phenomenally, and Andrew's stash game is strong today. What a day to be alive.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's like I guess I Are you growing out the chops or you just have the chops?
No, I just haven't. I usually like every couple days I've just got my my electric razor, and I just keep it short. I can grow a beard. It just looks it's just not a good look for me, man. It turns red. It's just not a thing.
No.
But I just haven't done it in several days, and it's coming in a little bit. So
it's one of those things to where it's like, if I shave my beard, I look ridiculous. I look like an idiot. Like,
I couldn't
like
imagine you without. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine it.
Yeah, it's just like I got such a baby face. It's just like I look so weird. I don't know, but it's like you get used to it. Like my buddy Devin, he has had a mustache for a long time. It's like if without a mustache now, I think you look weird. Even though some people say he looks weird with a mustache, but it's like I don't know. So
when I was fresh out of college, I had a full goatee, and there are not very many pictures of that out there. But it's just not a thing for me, man. I already know.
I had the chin music for a little bit because I was like all I could grow, like just right here on my chin, and it was looked like some beatnik. Like I was like, what in the world? But I was like, I just wanted to grow something, and that was all I had at the time. So, that's pretty brutal. It's pretty brutal. All right, so a couple more chats here too, because we'll get to your heavy hitters. Let's see. Hayden says, "Are we worried about North Carolina Petrino poaching our offensive returners?"
We talked about this a little bit yesterday. I don't know who it would be.
See, that's my thing. Is like I don't like because KJ's here, and then you have some of the offensive lining staying. Like maybe Jaden Platt.
That was the guy we brought up that we would be a little upset about, if that happened. But KJ's not going to go over there. He said he wanted to give Braylon the ball after every game, but he never did it, so he's not going to go. I wouldn't be too broken up about it if any of the receivers went over there. Somebody said Cam Shanks, and we were like, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, there's not that many options, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, again, and of all the ones that would end up going, it's not like this huge loss or anything like that, because most of the best players that you've had, are out of eligibility, like Mike Washington. He's moving on. So, it's Rohan Jones, he's moving on. So that's that. Finally, before we get to our heavy hitters, Acid Rain says, why do I still break out in a cold sweat when Morris is mentioned?
Well,
it's normal.
It's hard not to. Yeah, there's certain words and phrases that really trigger people. Like some people don't like to hear moist. That really gets under their skin. And I didn't like hearing Mark Pope say that he was emoting. Like that sent a chill down my spine. I don't know, made me feel awkward and weird. And Chad Morris does that to people still to this day. So
yeah, the left lane hammer down, all that crap. That's just like, it's just not gonna mean the same. It's gonna be a little bit different. So we'll continue to get to your chats, folks. Have some fun here on a Christmas edition of Inside Arkansas Live. But I want to remind everybody that HD Roofing and Construction is our official sponsor of our heavy hitters here on Inside Arkansas, because we know storms can hit anytime the weather's especially being like this. When it goes from cold to being warm, and, it usually means that there's going to be some storms on the horizon. So you want to make sure that your roof is good to go, because it's your last line of defense in protecting not only your home, but your possessions, but also yourselves. And you need to make sure that your roof is good to go. So hit up HD Roofing for a free inspection, because they'll come out to your house for free and let you know if your roof is good to go or if it needs replacing. And they'll be able to help you out with the professionalism, top quality materials, and expert installation for every one of your roofing needs. And you can call their Northwest Arkansas office today at 479-957-1928. That's 479-957-1928, or their Central Arkansas location at 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429. They also have a website at hdarkansas.com. It's HD Roofing and Construction, the official sponsor of our heavy hitters here on Inside Arkansas. So with that being said, Curtis, since we're doing the Christmas side of things, I know that video that Razorback basketball puts out, and they do a lot of great things that Cal does with the charity and the giving back and everything too. But my favorite thing is, I don't know what it is, but there's something about players, student athletes, was singing Christmas carols, because I feel like it's a common thing. And here was it was like a 4.5 minute video, so I just clipped the part where they're singing, and I just wanted to get our thoughts on this of how they felt like they did.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. What y'all want for Christmas? Ho, ho, ho. New bike. Ho, ho. TV. Ho, ho. I just feel grateful that we have an opportunity to share. There's so many like people that need it. Cheese, cheese. Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho. Ho, ho.
It was a lot more than just singing, but yeah, I just had to leave Elmer in there for Elmer just giving it a ho ho ho. Like, you know, someone just told him like, hey, that's what Santa says, man. It's like ho ho ho, and you just got to keep saying it. It's like, all right, ho ho ho. So
that was
yeah.
fantastic stuff, man. Perfect Santa. He did a great job. Excellent work by Trevin. You know, like if you're trying to, you're the tall guy. It's like everybody's going to be able to see you, and they're going to be fixated on you when you're singing. So help out the European kid and just point out the words to him. That way you don't have to sing as much. That was a good job by Trevin. I was just cracking up at Elmer. He's like,
just humming along with it too. Well, and so like when I saw this video, it made me laugh, but it made me think back to like one that I remember back in 2014 where there were also Razorback basketball players that sang, this is a little bit more in depth, but some other tunes from the Christmas holidays. Back when it was Razor Vision. I don't know if you remember that way back when.
One, two, ready, go. Oh, hello.
What you say?
Do y'all have like the little tune thing that, I need that to start it off.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride on a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose.
Like light bulb.
Who do you guys think I am?
See, this is so like they're so it's like so young, man.
You would even say it glows.
Like that. No.
Yeah. You gotta be jumping
like you a reindeer. Yeah.
Hey, all of the other
Reindeer.
used to laugh and call him.
They had Bobby Portis prancing.
Right here.
Jordan and he reindeer games.
Basketball. Then all the reindeer loved him. Then they shouted out with glee. Some. Wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish.
This Christmas.
Let's go.
Hang on mistletoe. I want to get to know you better. This Christmas.
So anyways, I saw that and I was like, man, they got to bring back those more often of just basketball players singing Christmas carols. It was just great. Seeing Bobby Portis though as a pro now and how like aggressive and how like physical he is. And he's over here prancing like a reindeer is kind of iconic. So
that is fantastic stuff. I can't top that, John. That was really good. I hadn't seen that. Like, I don't know. I just like, I've not seen that from 2014 there. So that was incredible, man. That just made my day. They're way better than this year's group. I mean,
yep.
I gotta say,
yeah. And I'll just say the reason I just looked up on YouTube, just like Razorback Christmas. Cause I was like, oh, maybe there's something out there that I haven't seen. That was like the only thing that I found between that. And then there was a video of Jeff Long reading 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. And I was like, I don't know if that one's gonna hit as hard, but either way. So I was like, I had to make sure that there was some sort of Christmas there too. So shout out to the boys from 2014 of singing it. Cause it's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is one that both sang. So I guess is that the most well-known or is it Jingle Bells is the most well-known Christmas song?
Ooh, I might lean Jingle Bells. That's a good question though.
Yeah. Because they both sang Rudolph. So that's why I had to ask. So, but anyways, I want to throw that in for the heavy hitters though.
Finch says that the Inside Arkansas fellas need to do that. Should me, you, Andrew, and Cameron have gone caroling?
We should have, yes. And even though it would just become where me and you just become the backup vocals for Andrew, because Andrew's going to belt it out with his operatic voice, singing these "Oh Holy Night" or whatever, and we'll just be back there being his backup singer. So yeah, maybe next year we'll do that.
Yeah, maybe so. That would be interesting for sure. No, see now I don't know. I was just gonna go with the typical stuff. I don't want to do that though because this is it's a Christmas theme kind
Yeah.
of thing here. That was really good, but no, I mean just not to do the whole sentimental sappy thing here, but heavy hitters to everybody that's been hanging out with us. When you get to the holidays, like you start to I don't know, reminisce a little bit, and it's like, oh, what are we thankful for? What are we grateful for? But it is really cool, man, to see how far we've come. Just from like, I almost want to go back and watch our last year's pre-Christmas show. You know what I'm saying? And then the year before that was when we were like filming the. We want to talk about cringe. Filming the we're getting ready to launch the Natty State thing videos and all that. So it's just crazy how far we've come from then to now, man. But really do appreciate everybody for hanging with us and sticking with us. There's been some ups and downs and everything, and it's been really, really cool to see this thing grow. So you guys are the real MVPs, and we've got some exciting stuff that's coming up here like very soon because this thing just continues to grow, and that's very cool. So heavy hitters there, heavy hitters to my two boys. I got to throw it out there because first Christmas with Wesley is going to be awesome. They say don't go crazy on baby's first Christmas, especially if he's just a couple months old, because they don't know. They can't do anything. They can't remember everything. So we got them some cool stuff, but we'll really be going wild next year. Like I was walking around in Target and everything in the toy aisles, and I was like, okay, in the future, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to get some stuff that I want to play with, So that'll be great. But between that and then it's a roller coaster with Slim. He's just an old dog, man, but he's been my best friend for almost 15 years now. I'm shocked, frankly, that he's still sticking around, but he is, and that's awesome. So being able to get at least one Christmas with my kiddo and my doggo, and of course the wife, that's very cool. It means a lot to us. So we're very, very excited about that also.
Yeah, no, that's great because I think that's really what the ending of the year. We talk about New Year's and like New Year's resolutions and new refreshing and all of that. It's like Christmas is kind of the time of just like reflecting on the things that have been back and like the things you spend time with and the people that are a part of it, and that's everything. Yeah, and it's amazing that we hear after I guess since Inside Arkansas has been around about a year and a half now. Is what it's been about 18 months. So it's pretty crazy, man, to see how fast it's continuing to grow and continuing to build, which is awesome. So, it's great. And in fact, as part of that, I asked you just the alumni question of the day because I was going to ask you guys about it either way. But when you were growing up, was there a Christmas gift that like stood out the most above it all? I think we may have talked about this last year, but just a Christmas gift that, regardless of the age, it was just like, yep, that was the one that you remember having the most excitement about.
Yeah. Countless amounts of Christmas gifts that I was really pumped. Like I remember getting my first, my PS2 and, stuff like that. That was really cool. But the one that has always stuck with me the most was, I guess I was like, I don't know, like 12 or 13 or whatever. Did you ever have a Mongoose bicycle? Do you remember the Mongoose bikes?
I do remember it. I don't know if I ever had one. I had a bicycle, but I don't remember. But yeah, I remember what it was.
It was the thing at the time. It had like the shocks and everything. It's like, oh, these are awesome. My dad got me one for Christmas, but it was crazy because he lived in St. Louis and I was down in Arkansas in McCrory, and he was at the time. My dad's a weird cat because he was in a band. Like that was his thing. He was a drummer in a band, and that's what he did. That was his career for like 2 decades. Then he went back to college at like 40 and became a software developer and did that until he retired. He still plays music, but talk about 2 different paths. Anyway, while he was still doing the band thing, he was out, for a gig playing at bars 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And people had broken into his apartment in St. Louis, gutted the place. Took all of his stereo equipment, all the valuables, everything like that. But they left my bike. And I just remember him, I didn't even know if he was going to be able to come down and visit for Christmas and everything. It's kind of a messy situation, and cops were down there and everything. He was supposed to leave that night after the gig, and he did, and brought the bike, and he had nothing. And like nothing to his name, was trying to figure all that out, but he brought that bike down there. And so I was like, I don't know, it just meant a lot to me given everything that he was going through. That is one that really sticks out to me above all growing up for sure.
Yeah. See that you got the sentimental story there too. Cause I wish I had a cool, like sentimental story like that. Not to say that there weren't some that meant a lot, but it was like, you mentioned like the PlayStation 2.
Dude.
It's like, it's funny. I had a PlayStation 2 and this shows I'm like little I knew as a kid, like ever reading instructions manuals. But do you remember how like you could turn it on and off with the front button? You'd have to hold it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So my first one, I didn't realize that was a thing. I would just hit the hard off switch in the back when I turned it off. And apparently if you do that over time, it like is bad for it. And I just kept doing it. And then ended up like right before Christmas, like a week before Christmas, my PlayStation 2 broke, which really pissed me off because it was like, I knew I was getting some really cool games for it. I was like, dude, I'm going to have all these games. But anyways, remember like I got surprised where I opened up all these games beforehand. I was just bummed. And then like at the very end of opening gifts, I got another PlayStation 2. I was like, yes.
That's
like that was the coolest one. Cause I truly like, it's not like one of those things you're like, oh, I'm going to play coy because I know I'm getting one. It's like, no, I legitimately didn't think like my parents were going to buy me another PlayStation. They got mad at me for having how much played video games anyway. So, but yeah, that was a pretty iconic one. But I'm having to wrap some gifts, and I have like this one that's such a big box, and I think I'm just going to put a bow on it, man. I'm not doing all that. I'm just going to forget it. Just I understand that there's some cool nuance to wrapping gifts and whatnot, but some things I'm just like, hey man, the kids just want to open it up and see what's in it. So
yeah,
I'll be doing that.
Exactly. So. Are you a gangster rapper or no?
I mean, you guys saw my rapping job the other day, right. So that was like it was held. It was held with tape, and I watched a YouTube video on how to do it. So as long as it like looked somewhat feasible of like a box, then that's all that matters. That's all that matters.
What was your first gaming system like that? Because when I was too young to even know how to play, like my dad had the regular old school Nintendo with Duck Hunter and everything like that. And so I messed with that a little bit, but I think I had a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis.
Same.
We got a little bit of everything. I had the Nintendo 64, one of my favorites, the GameCube, the Dreamcast, like all of those, man. I remember back in the day, man, there used to be all kinds of stuff. I never in my life had an Xbox, by the way. Never.
See, my first, because I was the same thing, was like we had a Nintendo, the old school Nintendo, because I guess me and you are the same age, so it's probably around the same like time when we got. But my brother got a Sega Genesis, and I got the Super Nintendo. And the Super Nintendo is what Santa brought one year, and I had the Super Mario World, which is one of the greatest like games ever. But it's like that, and then Super Mario All Stars or whatever it was. But then so we had some games there. That was kind of my first, and then. The one I really got into was I remember I asked for an N64 for Christmas, but I got a PlayStation 1. And it's not that I was bummed. It was like all my friends played N64. So I was kind of like, all right, whatever. But I'm glad it happened because then I just stuck with PlayStation like the entire time. And it's always been there. But yeah, there's something's magical. Like nowadays, it's just playing online and all these incredible like graphics and all this stuff. I was like, man, back then it was just like playing Crash Bandicoot, like just very simple, easygoing games. So it's like with, like the N64, I'm sure like GoldenEye was like one of the ones that stood out for kids, like playing with their friends and stuff. So yeah, that was my thing. Gaming systems. I had stockings too, where every year I got a book, and we still do it. There's like a Christmas book of lifesavers. It comes in with a bunch of different things of lifesavers. Like that's the type of stuff that we always get. So yeah, I don't know, just classic stuff, leaving the cookies and milk out for Santa, all the stuff. But now I guess the elf on the shelf, I haven't done that, and I was never part of that, but I guess that's the big thing to do these days. So
people get crazy with the elf on the shelf. Yes. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to be that guy, that dad who does the wild elf on the shelf scenes, but I've been seeing a lot of that in the algorithm, and you got some creative minds, man, and dirty minds, by the way, with some of the things you do there, but I'll skip that part. I'll get in trouble.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is like I'm sure there's a reason why so many people do it, because it's obviously very fun to do with the kids. So it's like it's a cool thing. So, but yeah, I mean, it's like Christmas Eve was always the time where we opened up gifts, and then Christmas Day is when Santa came and all of that. But it's funny. I have just nephews. I don't have any kids, but I got nephews that they all love Christmas. But man, they make out. I don't know if I got a bunch of gifts like they did. I just feel like kids get so much with all the. I don't know if it's just my oldest nephew Clayton. He's 20. He's about to be 23. But he was like the only child, only grandchild, only nephew for a long time. And that kid, man, just got littered with stuff. I was like, man, it's like, but with me, I was the youngest of 4 kids and the youngest of any cousin. So not say I didn't get anything, but it was just like, I just feel like kids, man, they just make out like bandits today.
Oh man. I mean, I had only child and like broken home vibes. So it was like multiple Christmases, mom's side, dad's side, the 2 sets of grandparents and everything. And I was not splitting with anyone. So I made out pretty good on my Christmases for sure. I was lucky from that standpoint.
Were they doing the thing where they were almost like competing to be like, all right, who gives Curtis the best Christmas, like trying to go out above and beyond. I had a friend, the reason I asked is I had a friend that always talked about when he was in a home like that where, it was apparently a pretty nasty divorce, but like he said that as a kid, he thought it was great, but looking back, it was like kind of messed up because it was like they were just piling on, trying to one outdo the other when it came to that. So
yeah, maybe in a way, I felt like my dad always went big. I mean, of course, I lived with my mom though, growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he might have felt like he needed to. He didn't, but when I would get something crazy, every year, like whatever's at the top of the list or something, it seemed like it was usually him. But then it was balanced out. Like I might get more volume from mom's side of the family. But the highest quality would come from dad. So there was a good balance there that we had going on. Good times, honestly.
Yeah, no, it really was, man. It's like Christmas. Like there's just things I think about, like Christmas at malls. Like I remember just like going to a mall was so incredible. Like you see big Christmas trees, and that's where it's like, where do you go to see Santa now? Like I don't even know.
That's
like,
a great question.
Like, do they still do it at the mall? Maybe. Like I know that there's been
the mall still a thing.
It's still there. I don't know how much of a thing it is, but I just wondered, like, as you go there, I remember there was like Bass Pro Shop would have like a Santa Claus to go in there while you're getting a new thing of lures. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know where it is, but it's got to be still part of it. So, well, Michelle says the mall still. So I guess it is the mall.
Yeah. I just realized we haven't taken our child to get pictures with Santa. We went out to, I always forget the name of it. Something Farms out here. Off Crossover. I can't remember. It's like the awesome Christmas light display. They've got the camels out there that you can ride around on. But it's really cool. Stewart family. Thank you. We took him out there and you could take pictures with the Grinch. And I was afraid that would freak him out because it was kind of an intimidating looking Grinch. I don't remember if there was a Santa there or not. There probably was, but we didn't do it because we're like, we'll figure it out. We'll find a time. Well, now it's the 23rd and we haven't gotten him a picture with Santa. So
it's all right. There's always next year. Santa will still be around. So he'll probably enjoy it a lot more next year too, or he'll be terrified because some kids are terrified of Santa anyways. It has nothing to do with the Grinch. It's like, they're just terrified of something like that. But I don't know. Me and Cameron talked about this on my Sunday Scaries things of like, the lights of the Ozarks, was just like something we always in Fayetteville on the square, and they still do that and strong. And I told the story about my dad. I remember my dad got so pissed as a kid because he stepped in pony crap, like because they have the ponies that are going, and he just stepped in it, and he was so mad. And like it's like, those were the good things to remember back then. But I don't know, man. It's like the traditions. Everyone's got them, like Christmas movies, Christmas songs, Christmas. Everything. It's like, that's what makes this time so much fun, is because it's like, of all the stuff going on in the world and what everyone's gone through and everything, it's like always revert back to enjoying Christmas and the holidays. So yep. Well, anyways, I don't know if hopefully didn't miss any chats. I know we had a few that we ran through a little bit there. We're talking about like Reed Shepard. We mentioned that and everything too. And then let's see. Oh, Caleb just says, my family name is tainted now being a Hog fan. I'm just glad I'm not related to the Morris family. So,
that's tough.
Yeah.
We don't judge you.
No, it's all good. It's all good. So, well, Curtis, any final thoughts before we roll out of here with our Christmas edition of Inside Arkansas Live?
Oh man. Pass along most of them with the heavy hitters there, but appreciate everybody. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, all those things to everybody and their families. If you're traveling out there, travel safe. Also listen to the Pod at the Palace because it will be hitting your feeds in the mornings. I'm not doing it on Christmas Day, but I'm going to record a couple episodes tonight to get out ahead of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Everybody enjoy the holidays, and enjoy this time with family and, all the things that are important. This is the best time of the year from that standpoint. So, and appreciate everybody for hanging out with us.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody enjoy the Christmas holiday. I know that there's going to be a lot of time off, a lot of travel and everything, but we appreciate all of you rocking with us here each and every day on Inside Arkansas Live, as well as all of our great content on Inside Arkansas. So be sure to subscribe to us here on Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page and follow our audio podcast wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, Bombastic Podcast, Inside Arkansas Recruiting Podcast, all that great stuff. And we'll be back here on Friday for Inside Arkansas Live right at noon to recap and talk about everything that's been going on. And that'll do it for us today. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson and intern Cameron, I am John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel on Friday. Have a very Merry Christmas, everybody, and we will see you